Okay, so the video is pretty simple. This is the framework that you can follow to run your ads profitably. And this is coming from someone who has brought in big clients, right? Through my funnel, I have done Bravo, Deal, Perplexity, Lovable, US Bank, Bank of America, Citibank, and SaaSTR. I've brought them as clients for my clients using the funnel that I have built for them. And this is directly attributed, right? You can just see the proof here. These were closed. There are some more big companies who were brought in but were not closed, like Dodge and Cox, Prudential, then Transamerica. And if you will check our website, I have brought in 4 million for Lizer, more than a million for Quartz. Then another company brought in more than 2 million in 6 months. So all of this is not to flex, but to just show that this is coming from someone who actually knows this stuff. So the main reason why your ads are failing right now, it's because you're getting them on a free trial or you're asking them to book a demo like directly. It is a very typical process where you're creating those creatives, which is an image or a video or a carousel, then pushing them to a landing page, which is most of the times your regular homepage, and then you're asking them to book a call or just sign up for a free trial. And if you're wondering that why is it not working, it's simple, right? It's simple maths. If you're paying more for a lead and they're not even paying you that much and they're paying you lesser than that, then it doesn't make any sense at all. Like if your CAC is at $500 and if someone is paying you just 250 or 300 before they churn because they weren't the right fit, then you're losing money to acquire customers. You're paying them more and they aren't even paying you half of it. You might be seeing that your cost per lead is like really cheap, but if you take a deeper look, then you will find out that most of them are unqualified. The good thing about paid ads is that you can bring in a lot of people to try your product. It is very easy as compared to cold outbound and content, but where you need to improvise is, do I have to let everyone inside my funnel? And if I'm doing that, what are the negatives of doing it and what are the positives of doing it? So anyways, I digress. This is the entire process that we use to create profitable ads for our clients. We actually do a lot more than this, but I would say that these are the needle moving sections. So first is buyer intelligence, second is a high ticket front end offer, third is launching a VSL, fourth is a qualifying and nurturing system, and then fifth is running great ads. So I'll cover all of it in this video. First, let's start with buyer intelligence. So the reason we do this is we want to know about their pain points, what are some of the features that they really like, what are some of the reasons that they found before they even considered paying for your subscription. And this and everything happens in the sales call. Like we can just take your transcripts and take it from there. And we do the same for churned calls or closed lost calls. Like obviously no one says no on the call itself, but if they were closed lost, then we can just see if there's any objection that we can tackle or we can work on. And we need as much data as we can, right? So there's support tickets, we also need email threads. So collect as much intel as we can so that we can act upon it, and then we develop a pain frequency matrix, right? So in simple words, we will just rank all the pain that a customer has and we will just focus on the top 5. Then what's the exact buying language? What is it that they want to hear so that we can convert them really fast? And if you don't have a call recording software, then you'll just have to do a good old Q&A with your sales team and take as much info as you can. Then second is figuring out what parts of your SaaS can be turned into high ticket. And we do this because if you are actually getting serious buyers, the customer acquisition cost is high. And if you're selling like $50 to $90 seat subscriptions, then it is probably not going to make up for it. Because if your customer acquisition cost is like at 500 and someone is paying $99 for a month, you might start seeing results after 6 months, right? But now that you have that $400 gap in between, how would you be able to scale up your ad spend? Since you're losing the money in the very first month until the next 3-4 months, and you will always keep on playing the small game of running ads for like 5k to 15k in monthly ad spend. This is why we do this. And if the monthly average order value for your SaaS is above 500, then this should be completely fine for you. So these are the 4 things that you can take a look at when you want to find found out a way to turn your SaaS into a high ticket product. First is a white glove onboarding. Now, your customer support team would already be helping enterprise customers if they're coming into your funnel, or you have a highest tier plan in your SaaS which involves it. You could do the same thing and you don't even have to change anything when it comes to service or hiring more people. Or you can charge 1 to 2k, even 3k sometimes. Really depends on the complexity of their needs, of what they want, of what your SaaS is like, how hard it would be to set it up, and all that stuff. Then, second is building the custom integrations for them. This includes building the workflow and integrating your software with that workflow so that it helps them in attaining the results really fast and see the benefit that they can. Again, you can charge this at the same price range. Then, if they don't want a done for you offer, then you can do a done with you with the help of strategy and implementation consulting, or a priority success channel. Like, there are various things that you can think of. So whatever your lifetime value is, you just need to price it at like 1 to 2x so that you can make up for your ad spend in the very first month. And because of this, our clients are scaling at like 35 to even 40k in monthly ad spend. Then next is a video sales letter. The reason this is required is because they are cold traffic, right? Which is people who do not know you yet. They don't know anything about you. So how do you nurture them and how do you pre-frame them where they have all the information that they need before even taking the first action, which is committing their 30 minutes on a sales call or committing their time on a free trial and just going through the software. So I'll talk about VSLs in a dedicated video because this would take like 10 minutes if I had to explain it. But in short, first you start with the painful reality that they are at right now so that they could resonate, because you need to hook them in. Just quantify the losses that they might be feeling right now so that you really twist the knife and make them feel the pain. Now you gotta explain to them why they're feeling that pain and villainize their current system, expose all the flaws that their current system has. And then the third stage is where you introduce the mechanism, which actually convinces them of the fact that this could take care of their painful reality. You need to do a really good job for that. I have a framework. I'll talk about that in a dedicated video, like I said. And then next is a simple call to action. You ask them to book a demo, and that is it for the VSL. Now there are many more things, right? Once you tell them to book a demo, you're also qualifying them before they even take that final action. There's already a video that I've made for it. It explains the entire process in like 5 to 6 minutes. You can check that out. Now the job of a type form qualifier is it's in the name. Like, you need to pre-qualify your prospects so it eliminates the need of a discovery call. That's what we strive for. It reduces the need of a discovery call about 80% of the time, because a qualifier takes care of first and second order questions. But if they have even deeper questions when it comes to qualifying prospects, then you can just do that in the first call and qualify them in like 5 minutes max, and then go on with closing. Now that VSL obviously has to be somewhere, so here's the landing page framework for running paid ads is entirely different. It is all about conversion. You need to be a really good direct response copywriter in order to do that, where you're talking about their big pain in the headline, then you're supplementing it with the help of a sub headline, and you're talking about the entire pain that they have and how this mechanism is going to solve for them. And it is kind of like a teaser, right? If they want to know more about it, that's when we ask them to go watch the VSL. Whereas just below that, then you need to have a clear cold traffic offer breakdown and have a guarantee if possible. And the rest of the page is the VSL, but they are in bullet points because it would make it easy for them to skim through. Some people just want to read the whole thing like in text, and then a good old CTA button. Then you need to have a nurture sequence. By the way, it's more than 16 emails. It also can contain SMS. It also can contain videos which you are using to retarget them again on Meta or LinkedIn. It can be divided into various parts like an engagement sequence. You can run a pre-call sequence where, for example, if they've hopped on a call, then you can talk about various things like showing them the ROI that they might be getting. Here are some of the most common objections that you would have got from the buyer intelligence that you would have done in the very first step that I talked about, where you're just answering their questions in a simple email thread. Then you can build up trust in the same email sequence by sending another email which talks about the testimonials, some of the case studies that you have. If you are running a guarantee, then there can be a risk reversal sequence. This nurture sequence requires a dedicated content strategy because there are so many variables inside of this. But the job of the nurture sequence is to nurture them rapidly, really fast. The prospect needs to know, like, and trust you, and this is where the sequence does a really good job at, so that during the sales call, the prospect is not looking for a demo. They just want to talk about the next steps, right? How would it look like if it were to be used for my company? How does the onboarding look like? What is the entire process? So it completely gets rid of the first order questions, and this reduces your sales cycle. This entire thing, right? All the three things, if used together, they will reduce your sales cycle. They will increase your close rate because of the qualifier. You're bringing in qualified prospects, and there are many more benefits. Like it also reduces your churn because again, this is doing that job. If you want to learn how to make this, just check that video. It would be there on my channel. And this is how it usually looks like for our prospects. Cost per application is equal to or less than $150. Then an application to call rate is 60% because we need to qualify them, right? And that's where the qualifier does a great job. Then a close rate of 20 to 25 is pretty average. And because the sales cycle is a bit long for B2B, you can assume that you're making equal or a little higher when it comes to collecting cash by the end of 2 months. And at last, you're making back your ad spend in the very first month because of the high ticket offer. So here's the summary as well. Feel free to screenshot this. And if you want us to run this for you, then I have two offers. If your monthly average order value is less than 500, then I'll run this for you profitably in the next 60 days. And if that doesn't happen, then you will just get your retainers back. This is our guarantee to you. And if your monthly average order value is above $500, then I will help you make $1 million in ARR within the next 6 months. And if I don't, then you'll get the entire 6 month retainer back. We have helped a ton of clients, and the average client result, by the way, is at 1.2 million ARR in 6 months. So just go ahead, check my website, book a call, and I'll see if you're a fit, because it's really tough to let people in if you're interested in the 1 million ARR guarantee. Yeah, that was all.